Hey healers, I am Sarada Muladhara, the root chakra goddess. I hope that you can hear me okay, because I'm outside and there's a lot going on, but I wanted to deliver this message right away, why it's important to show up. Because a lot of times people think that they have to have things a certain way before they show up. I have to have a full face of makeup on. I have to have the perfect setup, you know. I should have my headphones. Is it loud enough? Can you hear me? Is it too loud? Is there too much going on? But I like to be out here filming my videos, and I like to be showing up out here, even as funny as it looks to some people, because I've literally had people like make fun of me and heckle me in my face while they seen me filming and recording a video, just because, you know. And then I've had people like, I've dealt with so much different stuff from people, because I'm a type of person that actually talks to people and actually interacts with people, knows a lot of people, and makes myself accessible to people. So that's just my Gemini nature. And what happens when you connect with people, whatever type of way you connect with them, you influence them. And you cause them to change. It's no matter what. You can't help it, because your presence offers a different perception, which they will begin to see the world through your lens when people are around you. And it's just a sort of thing that they can't help it. Like, because even the most narcissistic, self-centered person will still look at how another person thinks and operates to understand them. And I think it's like unreasonable for us to expect to be understood. If we can understand ourselves, that's a good thing. The way that that happens is through showing up, because that's mirror work. That's when people talk about mirror work, that's what that is. Shadow work, that's mirror work. That's looking at yourself. And you can't look at yourself unless you show up to be seen. If you don't look in the mirror, you're not going to see yourself. And every person that you look at, and every piece of media or anything that you consume, that's a mirror for you to see yourself in, or not see yourself in. For example, of things that I point out all the time, that you're rarely going to see a person like me represented in a media outlet at all in any type of nuanced or positive way. And now it's the type of thing where people don't see real skin. They don't see real skin. They don't see real bodies. Everything is processed, not just the food. Everything is processed. It's important to show up in your authenticity. For example, we had years where people didn't see each other's faces. And there's just something about a face, putting a face and a voice in front of people, they're always going to watch. Somebody is always going to watch, and it's always going to be pleasing to somebody. And I don't have to put on makeup if I don't want to. I don't have to look a certain way all the time. And I can still feel cute to me. Fuck society. One of the things that people really don't understand about visibility and showing up is that it doesn't mean that you think that you're better than somebody else, or that you think that you're more worthy of being listened to or being seen or being heard than someone else. No, because I'll talk to anybody. Why wouldn't I show up? What? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm a perfect person that a lot of people want to connect with. So, and guess what? They don't all get to. Just because people want to connect with me or you doesn't mean that they get to. This is the thing that stops a lot of people from being visible, which I've spoken extensively on this topic, of the fear of being liked. Well, that's where boundaries come in, because the more magnetic and attractive and open and communicative and expressive you are, the more people are going to be attracted to you. And so you have to have funnels and systems and boundaries. You got to know where to put them and what to do with them. everybody's not a leader, but a lot of people are. And this message is for you because you're the one that wants to show up as the leader. It's an impulse that you have. It doesn't make you bad. And people, the first easiest thing for people to say when they're confronted with the mirror reality of a person in their face like me, who doesn't shy away from showing up and rewinds, when you're put into a mirror situation with Amira, a person like me, where you're invited to see yourself in the face of another person that unapologetically shows up, doesn't have a problem being seen, will be open about me and tell you what it is if you bother to listen or ask. So what happens with some people where they're teetering the line between, like, they want to do this too, but they're scared or they feel like they're not ready. The easiest projection for a person to make onto a person like me is that I'm unethical, I'm somehow exploiting others, or I'm a bad person. Somehow I'm a bad person. I'm too full of myself. And just any little thing to pick me apart. And this is where y'all's demons come in, because this is literally what happens. And I've seen this happen, and I've been told about this happening over and over and over by clients over and over and over. I know what I do, and I know what I'm working with. I know the energies that I'm dealing with. So nobody can, like, make me question what I know. When these demons don't want to leave, they're going to start whispering to you whatever bad things that they can about that person that's threatening them, because they've been feeding off your life force energy. So now they don't have that chance anymore if they get banished from your space. If you start picking up on the fact that, like, you know, I feel so drained when this and that happens, and when I do this and that, and I'm going to start making different decisions to not do that anymore, and that demon is going to try to trick you to say, like, oh, you should do this or you should do that, or just try to, like, find you slipping up, find wherever it can go in, it's in. So for me, for example, like, you know, not showing up is an in. Like, that's where my energy gets depleted and it gets drained, because I actually get energy from showing up, from communicating, from talking to people, from being visible, and from speaking about my emotions. That's me. Everybody's different. So if that's not how you gain energy, know that about yourself. But for me, I gain energy by expressing myself. And when I come on here in real time and talk to you guys about things I'm really going through, that enables me to move through it more quickly. And one of the things about me is that I always share and show how I do everything, because that's just my nature to teach, because I'm the oldest child in my family. I've always been the teacher. I've always been the leader, and that's natural to me. That's natural. So as I prepare for the next phase of my life of motherhood, a dragonfly just landed on my phone and flew away. Bruh. And I was surrounded by a swarm of dragonflies earlier when I was walking by the river. I love how spirit speaks. Did y'all see me? I was like, because it was landed right there. Yo, yeah, so like I said, like, I know that the natural ebb and flow of my life is what's expected, so that's what I expect. But as I prepare for the next phase, I just see, like, what I've learned in the last phase, and how natural it is for me to lead. And it's not just about raising children. I have spiritual children too. I don't take that lightly. And we still cool. It doesn't mean I'm your mom, or we can't, like, you know, I have friends who are my spiritual children. We have great friendships, but I still have a responsibility to them, that I care for their spiritual well-being. This is what I do. It's what I like to do, and it's what I came here to do. It's natural for me. I'm not putting on a show. Like, I'm literally just being who I am and being more and more of who I am. And I get to do this for my work. This is how I make money. People pay me to help them do this too. And it's too good not to be true. You can do it too. You can do it too. It's really true. Like, it's really true. It's really true. But if you don't want to do it, or you're too scared, you'll stop yourself. Because I know, because I've done it too. The reason why I wanted to make this video today and talk about the importance of showing up is because I've been struggling with showing up. And you guys would probably never know that, right? Because I post every day, all day, every day. I post so much stuff. You would probably not know that I struggle with showing up. But I know this, and I see it play out in different ways. And where I reject certain opportunities, or I hold myself back in certain ways, or I may do the thing but still feel a lot of shame, and then I don't get the outcome that I want because I'm not being emotionally clear about what I'm going through. And that's because, like, that's part of the way that my energy flows, is I need to be emotionally clear and communicative. And I'm always going to do stuff that, like, upsets the status quo, and, you know, it's outside the norm. And one of my responsibilities to the people who I care for spiritually is to inform you that this is what I'm doing. I'm always going to shake shit up, and I might not be able to inform you before it happens. So what I've learned is that the people that get along best with me are the people who are really, like, rock solid in their own selves, and then we also have compatible shared values and a shared value system. And that they're willing to commit to doing their own shadow work and questioning themselves, so that when it does come up where they're judging me because that's a shadow projection that they can't deal with in themselves, like, they really want to do this and really turn up and really go hard and really speak to their audience and really connect with them and really make the money that they're here to make. Stop playing small. Stop having a poverty consciousness, and you will. I'm just saying, you're not supposed to be broke. You're not supposed to be poor. And what I've noticed for a lot of people that have judged me the most, like, a lot of people they judge me, but they have a higher income than I do. They have more going for them materialistically than I do. But the thing is that I don't need those things. I don't rely on those things, and a long time I didn't have them. So I'm not beholden to them. And it enables me, because I changed my lifestyle in a certain way, it enabled me to show up in a certain way. Because I couldn't have just gone on here talking about how I really felt about the adult entertainment industry if I was still relying on 100% of my income to come from the adult entertainment industry. How would that work? And so you don't even have to believe in the whole demon side of it. It's just energetically. Like, if it wasn't that demons are controlling this, it's just energetic. Like, I need to heal from experiences that I had in this industry. How am I going to do that when it entails talking and verbalizing? And for me, it entails showing up and communicating with other people so that I could get that feedback and that resonance and that community support. So, you know, energetically, it just didn't work, because I knew that when I worked in sex work and in adult entertainment, if I was doing in-person work where I would be posted up in a hotel, I couldn't think about being scared that I was going to get killed, because then that would mess up my money. So it's like that in every single industry. It's like that for every single person. It doesn't matter who you are. And people forget that the most personal experiences, they're so universal. All these experiences that we have that we think are just so unrelatable that other people can't understand unless they're just like us, no, they can understand very well, because they have their own version of it. And this is what is meant by there's no competition in the spiritual healing arts, because everybody has a message to deliver that is unique to your prophecy that you were born with. It's your own prophecy. It's your own story. It's your own story. Nobody else has that story. And it's your own unique people that you can speak to that resonate with you, that they wouldn't be able to hear it from somebody else. So you may be able to go and study and learn from many different teachers and watch many different speeches, read many different books, and freely go in those lands of distant people that you're not related to, but another person can't. So they need you to bring it back to them. And they're not going to have it without you. And for you to do it, it's the most natural thing for you to do. You wanted to do that anyways. You wanted to go and explore, I mean, those different people anyways. And you wanted to come back home and be with your people at the end of the day anyways. So everything that you're supposed to be doing, it should be the thing that comes the most naturally to you. And this is what I teach and what I guide people back to, is their own nature. And I'm able to do this because of my life story. That's why I share so much of my life story with you guys, and I show up the way that I do. I don't even show y'all my day-to-day of the things that I do and stuff like that. Like, I'm not that type of social media user. I don't usually show you guys what all I'm doing. I usually just come on here directly to talk to you about something, or to show you something that is what I want you to see. So you know me and you know my life, but you don't know the half of it. But the things that I share on here is like for a universal touch point. Root chakra goddess, these are root chakra issues. Pain, sex, death, occult, rebirth, race, gender, ethnicity, sex, again, I said sex, sex work, sexual orientation, all of that. Sex spirits, the choices that we make, and brainwashing, like when we don't make the choice, it's made for us. Migration, human rights. These are all the things that I specialize in. This is all the worst issues of the world. They're anchored in the root chakra. This is where we have to go if we want to heal them. And so for all my people that are activists and world changers, and you want to save people and change things, this is the best thing for you to do. And I say this from somebody that has over 20 years experience activism. This is where you want to be with it, is in your own spirit, your own heart, your own body, and your own bloodline. Just the simplest thing as looking at what illnesses that your generations have passed down, what illnesses that your parents and your grandparents suffer from, that you're at risk for if you're not already suffering from. That right there, who knows how many generational curses and root chakra curses you would have to break just to heal that one issue. You think it's heart failure in the family, or you think it's diabetes in the family, but it goes to a deeper root that could be extremely complicated and compounded with multiple different emotions and memories and experiences. When you show up, you can't show everything. Like, you can never say everything. You can never show everything. You can never account for every single rebuttal or argument that somebody might have with your points. You just have to show up. Like, you always like look back later and be like, oh, I could have done this better, or I should have mentioned that. It's about getting comfortable with the flow of the words coming out of your mouth and the energy moving in and around you, and just letting it be, letting yourself be. One person commented on one of my posts recently, and they were like, it was a meme that I had shared that said perfection is rooted in white supremacy, and they were like, what does that mean? And I asked them, what do you think it means? And they got mad. They were like, well, obviously you don't know the answer since you turned it back around on me. And I'm like, actually I do. But anyways, like, I know what it means to me, but I was literally asking, what do you think it means? What do you think it means? And this is, again, see, people want you to be what they need you to be to them. Like, I was supposed to do whatever she wanted me to do in that moment, and I didn't. So it upset her and triggered her, and it made her, like, to me, that would reflect to me that it's like, oh, great, another person who doesn't know what they're talking about. And they just say things, and they don't know what they're talking about, and they don't have an answer. And, like, it's overwhelming. Like, I can't be responsible for all of your, I can't be responsible for all your inner child wounds and private pains that you project onto others. So that's always going to happen, you guys, if you show up. If you make yourself visible, that's always going to happen. People are always going to have so much projections to put on you. They can, because it's literally like a kaleidoscope. It's literally like one fractal of the kaleidoscope that they're seeing. Okay, but you're co-creating that reality with them too. So we always got to look at, like, ourselves and how we see ourselves. And let us get back to a baseline of understanding with ourselves and knowing ourselves. You can't expect other people to. They're always going to project, because it's whatever they need to see to make their reality make sense is what they're going to see. It's always going to be that. The vast majority of people are not awakened to that level of consciousness to be able to look through their own projections, because they can't see the projection, they just make the projection. And when you guys meditate with me and do Reiki with me, like, one of the things that I always go to is having your third eye, your inner eye, look inside your brain, to the back of your brain. That's where your shadows are, the back of your brain. So when you show up, you're enabling yourself to not only to be seen, but to see yourself. And a lot of people fear making mistakes and fear saying the wrong thing, or being judged unfairly. But you have to get it out. Whatever is inside of you, you have to get it out so you can actually see it. If it's inside, it might be too dark in there, the shadows are too cloudy and you can't see it. You got to get it out. And then when it's outside, it can be looked at in that mirror with other people. So you don't really know yourself unless you show up for life in some type of way. So you got to show up for life. You got to show up for life. It's your life. What are you going to do? See, he's teaching her how to ride a bike now. You got to show up for it. You got to show up for it. You're never going to learn how to ride the bike good if you don't practice. A lot of y'all, like, I love the fact that you guys watch my videos. You can make your own videos too. But you don't have to. It's just a question of where are you supposed to show up? And where do you want to show up? Where have you not been showing up and you can feel your own absence in your own life? Because it's not, everybody doesn't need to show up on YouTube or Instagram or social media. You might want to show up in your family more, you know, and all of these areas, guaranteed, when it comes to the question of work-life balance, whatever issues you struggle with in one area, they're always going to be present in the other areas too. If you're struggling showing up in your business, you're probably struggling showing up in your family, struggling showing up in your relationships or with your friends. Where are you not showing up for yourself and not seeing yourself? Always take it inside and look at what's going on with me. And break yourself down into parts if you have to. Like, I have my inner child. I have my inner adult. That's my inner protector. I have a reasonable, responsible adult, but I have a crazy-ass adult, too. And I got different parts of me. I have a fantasy part of me that just dreams. So we got to make space for all these different aspects of ourselves and love them regardless. And when you're showing up, you learn those aspects of yourself and you learn how to recognize them. And you learn, like, what's a trauma response and what's really me. Like, what aspects of myself did I develop just to survive these different environments that I have to travel through, versus which ones are really me, that when I'm really myself and I'm just really not giving a fuck about anybody else, that these are the parts of me that shine through. What parts do I want to see more? Like, what parts do I want to feel like more? What parts do I want to dress like more and embody? It's important to show up. You showing up is how you exist. And that's part of your protection too. The care and time and attention that you put into your body, your adornment, your clothes, like what you put on. I mean, because I could, right, like, I could be out here. I'm a regular. I'm just regular. I just have just a little regular fit on. Nothing serious, no makeup. But it's the time and care and attention that I took to brush my hair, to wash my face, to spray perfume on, like to dress myself. And this is what makes me feel good because it's resonating with the part of me that I want to express today. These are daily choices you get to make, and removing decision fatigue from yourself Just let yourself go into it naturally and automatically pick what you want to choose. Then when you show up, well, I don't really feel like being seen, but yet I know that I have this important message that I need to get out there, so I'm going to show up and be seen anyways. Haters die mad about it. I'm so silly, but like, I'm serious too. They die mad about it. Haters can die mad about it, and your biggest haters is like the ones that 9 times out of 10 for most of us, they think that they love you. The people that will hold you back the most from showing up or stop you from showing up the most, the people that they think that they love you, you might think that you love them. And the thing is that there's a large chunk of that love that is predicated on keeping yourself small so that they can feel big. So what are you going to do with that information? These are the changes that take place in people's lives when they do this work that they don't like. They didn't expect these unintended consequences where now you don't fit in with your friends anymore. You don't fit in with your mom anymore. Now you find out your mom is a hater. Your grandma's a hater. And you just thought that that was normal. So you also have hating ass friends. You even got colleagues that you kept around you that are haters. You thought it was normal. All this stuff seemed normal. And now all of a sudden you realize these people don't really fuck with me. They're just hanging on to see what they can get out of it. And you have to go through a whole nother layer of boundary setting and getting clear on who you are and what you need and what your standards and your values are. And then you do that in isolation from other people. What happens when you're too close to too many people and you haven't taken enough time, 24 hours, to be alone by yourself? You're not yourself. You're a conglomeration of those other people. So it's really easy for them to influence you and to get you to do what they want you to do because their energy is all up in you. Especially if you're a sensitive empath type of person and you're really porous and you soak that up. So this is some of the main conflicts that people come up against. And that's why I recommend you don't take this work lightly. Like, if you want to do this, you're committing to changing your life, and you might not really be aware of how those changes are actually going to take effect. They could have extreme consequences. So I always encourage everybody to think about this ahead of time. And when it comes to showing up, these are things that you need to think about too. You might not know the consequences of your actions when you're taking them, but are you willing to take the weight of those consequences? That's all you need to be able to do this, is know that you can take the weight of whatever consequences come up and that you're going to be responsible for them when they do. Just a little message from me to you. And if you want more support with this from somebody who does this, then contact me, rootchakragoddess.love. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if it resonated with you. I want to hear about it. Let me know what other topics you guys want me to talk about, okay? I do sex, relationship, health, and healing coaching for people who are spiritually, sexually, and creatively gifted. So if this is you, talk to me. Lock in. Say mashallah when you see me, and stay tuned. Peace.